Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to our Horizen Weekly Insider. Today is a very special day because we are celebrating our third year anniversary. So we wanted to be all here with you to share some good updates and comments. So please make sure to stay at the end because we're going to have so much fun. We are live now in YouTube and Discord as well, so make sure to join us and to ask questions. Um, this weekly insider usually takes place every Thursday on our Discord channel, so you're all invited to be there in the upcoming weeks as well. Make sure also to subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up for this cool video as well. And so, yeah, make sure to stay at the end because we're going to have so much fun. And now I'll start with introducing the updates, and I'll welcome now Luca from the engineering department.
Okay, thank you, Angie. Luca here from Italy, near Milan. Still working remotely from home because of lockdown, but very happy to be with you today. And with me there will be Alberto, which is the team leader, the chief architect, so the team leader of the engineering team. As you can see, I am with some animals, all my plushies, and with my collection of t-shirts. I have to say that I belong to those people that were so lucky to celebrate all the Horizen birthdays so far. And I think Horizen for me is really like a family. This goes beyond my job. And I'm so happy to be here and so proud for the team. Just wanted to say that. This year we celebrate the 3rd anniversary, and it's also funny because we are also almost releasing a major software release. So it's really the concentration of months of effort from the engineering team, which grew so much this year, and it's one of the best engineering team in this industry. I really believe so. And with me there is Alberto today, so we will update you soon about the latest and greatest about sidechain beta. So Alberto, if you want to take from here.
Sure. Thanks, Luca. Okay, let me say, the last week has been mainly focused on code reviews, and especially on the mainchain side. So we are reviewing the last part of the mainchain that are introducing the sidechain functionalities, in particular proof verification and let me say all the changes that are needed for beta. So we are approaching the beta release, and so we have been also started the integration test phase. So we were able to run some sidechain nodes and some mainchain nodes and see that the interaction worked properly and the transactions were processed correctly. The coins were transferred correctly between the two chains, and so on. I mean, the main functionalities that we expect to have for the beta release. So it seems that in a few days we will be able to publish on a testnet, let me say a parallel testnet, the sidechain, a sidechain network, and the main chain nodes that will be capable of managing multiple sidechains. So everyone will be able to interact with these nodes, see how they can create sidechains, how they can send funds to sidechain, how they can let me say transfer back the funds from the sidechain to the mainchain. I mean, using the whole flow of the sidechain. So there are going to be still very busy days, but I mean we're almost there. So that's all. Thanks, Luca.
Can you remind me the length of this code base?
Oh, I don't know. Really, too many. Also, there are several projects. So there are the changes in main chains, and we're speaking about tens of thousands of lines of code changed. So, and moreover, we have the sidechain SDK that is a huge project by itself. We have the proving system, And so Zendu main chain crypto lib, Zendu sidechain crypto lib, Ginger lib, that are other 3 big projects. So currently, I really don't know how many in total they are, but I mean, it's huge. And all the team made really an amazing work. So we're approaching that. Just a few days, and I mean, you will see.
Thank you, Alberto. And just before I pass it back to Angie, next week we are going to have the scheduled software deprecation. So if you are a miner, a pool operator, an operator, remember you need to upgrade your Zendi or the application you use to the latest version. So you find all the info online on our blog post. Today we keep it shorter because other amazing news are coming. So back to you, Angie.
Awesome. Thank you, Luca and Alberto. Let's continue now with Spencer for the Helpdesk Updates.
Hello, can you hear me? Very good. Happy Thursday, everyone. I posted the data, be real brief today. 59.7% of the tickets were faucet-based, 40.3% of tickets for other issues, an increase in other issues relative to the faucet tickets. Most prominent faucet issue was an issue with payments being processed that was solved by Tuan. Most prominent sphere issue, again, seed recovery of wallet. Basically, too often users are promising that they've secured their backup phrase when in reality they never did so. Also, inquiries from options for 32-bit systems. All Horizen desktop wallets do require 64-bit operating systems. The current advice is to use MyZenWallet or ZenPaperWallet.com. And from parts unknown, that concludes the report from the help desk.
Thank you, Spencer. Let's continue now with Gustavo for the UX updates.
Hey everyone, happy 3rd-year anniversary. It's been a long road, but together we thrive. And a warm welcome to the whole Horizen family. So regarding the updates, we've been working on the transition from the faucet to the community hub, and we continue working on HD development, and we are aiming for sidechain beta. And that's all.
Thank you, Gustavo. Now let's welcome Rowan for the video updates.
Hello, everyone. Rowan here, speaking from just outside what is usually a very sunny Panama City. You'd never guess that's where I live, going by my skin tone. I promise I'm not quite as white as I look on this camera. So BD team are currently in the midst of flipping our attention. As you know, our kind of primary mission is to make Zen as accessible and as useful as physically possible for the entire community. With a huge upcoming release in terms of the sidechain beta, our kind of core mission now is flipping, at least for the next 6 to 8 months, into building or really extending the Horizen family. So we really want to try and pull in as many different people from the development sphere as physically possible and get people actively engaged in building applications, products, and services on top of this cool new tech stack. So that's our real mission for the next little while. I will, however, just give a kind of sneak peek of one of the main integration missions we're aiming for this year, and that is to provide a service to our community that enables them access to node hosting rewards without typically actually setting up a node in a traditional way. So I'm kind of cryptic in what I'm saying here. I'm doing that on purpose. I don't want to pre-announce anything, but we have a variety of pretty cool integrations in the pipeline, and I'm very excited about announcing them to the community in the weeks to come. And that's it from me. If Vano wants to jump in, please feel free to do so.
Hello, everyone. Vano speaking from Georgia. So a small addition from me is that our partner, CoinGecko, updated our halving page on the platform, which now uses an API endpoint there to point to Horizen's latest block height. So it is now able to track our countdown of blocks, our halving more accurately. And that's all from me. And you can check that integration there at CoinGecko, and our integration there has been like more complete now. Back to you, Angie.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Let's continue now with Jonas for some HDE and Academy updates.
Hey everyone, Jonas here speaking from Innsbruck, Austria. First of all, I want to thank you for all the kind words that we've received in the past for the Academy. Many of you have reached out. Some of the community members have put in some feedback, even edited articles. So thanks for that. That's much appreciated. Currently, we're still working on the continuous rollout of the expert content of the Horizen Academy. And additionally, we're really getting ready to funnel more developers into our project. Currently, that is divided into two main work streams. First of all, we're developing the MLH workshop that we mentioned several times. That we target specifically one target group, and that's young CS students, mostly US-based, across different universities all across the country. They can take a workshop where they get to know blockchain and actually get into touch with blockchain technology and build an app on top of it. That's going to be super cool. The other thing is that the HDE rollout is going to happen fairly soon. The tester looks really good by now. All the functionality is coming together. And I think this will be a great tool to actually have people build on Horizen and make it easy for them, and yeah, make this more successful than it is already. And that would be it from my side. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jonas. Now let's welcome Lucy for the marketing updates.
Hello, this is Lucy speaking from the US. So first and foremost, happy 3rd anniversary to Horizen and the community. So really, really happy to see everyone here today. And I really feel honored to be able to celebrate this event for 3 years now. And I'm really, very much looking forward to celebrate with you guys many years ago. So we are here to celebrate this special event live, but also we are hosting a community contest for the anniversary. And then we have already received many really awesome entries. So the prize are cool wallets and some free credit to shop in our store. So please join if you haven't done so. And then also I want to remind everyone that we hold this weekly insider every Thursday on our Discord channel. So, but moving forward, we will also broadcasting the weekly insider from Discord to YouTube as well. So please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and then also join our Discord channel. Discord server. So Rob did an interview with YouTuber Sylvain, and he is also a very active Horizen community member and then our supporter. And then also our BD director, Rowan, did an interview with Crypto Dave from the UK. So they both talked about the latest development of our sidechain and another interesting projects that we have been working on. So please check them out if you haven't done so. And that's it from me, really. I will keep things brief, so we will move faster to the most fun part for you guys. Thank you. And I'll pass the mic to Jonathan for some growth updates.
Hey, everyone. Good morning. Not that many updates this week. I just wanted to say that I've been here for just over 2 years. My 2-year anniversary was last month, and it's been an awesome ride, and it's been really exciting to work with everyone here. And I'm very thankful to Rob for accepting me into this company, and Rosario as well. I remember interviewing with Rob and Rosario's like, oh, I don't know about this guy.
It was a tough decision to bring you on, Jonathan. Really tough.
I think Rosario was a little skeptical, but just want to let you both know that I really appreciate the opportunity to work here. And I hope it's going to be a great year and a great project. And yeah, just very thankful to be here. And that's it for me. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan and Lucy. Now let's welcome Rosario for product and engineering updates.
Hey, Jonathan, I'm always skeptical, so that's no offense to that, but it's been an absolute pleasure working with you and working with every single person on this team. And I'm just so proud that we have such a close-knit and team all over the world. So I'm in Puerto Rico, and we have, I think, 13 countries represented in our team. which is amazing. And you know, we all work so well together, and I'm so thankful for you guys. And can't believe it's been 3 years. Wow. So as Alberto mentioned, we are integrating 4 major projects that will be going to the sidechain beta preview release. And yesterday we had a really great session between engineering infrastructure and UX about all the detailed tasks that will go into what it will take into getting a sidechain beta preview into a parallel testnet environment, and also Sphere, getting Sphere working as with sidechain integrations. And I'll be working with, and this is going to be one of our major focus going forward, is working with multiple departments on refining our app developer outreach strategy. And we have identified 4 different phases, which I'll talk into detail at a later time. But this is an exciting phase that we're entering, right? So this is the phase where we're actually approaching app developers to build on our network, and it's all starting with sidechain beta preview. Thank you, guys. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Rosario. And now let's welcome Rolf for some wisdom and celebration words.
Thanks, Angie. Appreciate it. Yeah, 3rd year anniversary. I'm excited about our true international representation, and thank you for everyone who's staying up late or got up early to join this video call. And I'm having so much fun just looking through the gallery view, seeing everybody's faces and all the different folks that are out there. And I look forward to, in the future, traveling and meeting every single one of you, for sure. So one of the questions that I get a lot, most of you probably know that early on in my career, I was an officer in the Navy on a nuclear submarine based out of Hawaii. And that was a very different way of life, very difficult sometimes. And people ask, do I ever miss being in the Navy? And honestly, I don't really miss much of anything being in the Navy. It was difficult. It was no sleep for 5 years straight, sleeping 30 feet away from a nuclear power plant and being underwater most of the time. It was an experience. It was a different way of life. But there is a part that I enjoyed. And I always looked for the ability to recreate that experience. And the best part was being part of a small team that worked well together, were highly competent in their area of expertise, and were all focused on working together at peak effectiveness toward a common goal. That's not common. Most work experiences are not that way, but this is. So that's one of the things that I'm really happy about. So thank you to everyone that works at Horizen for creating and sustaining this culture. And Rob, thank you for maintaining and sustaining the team working environment that we all have together. That's a lot of work, and it's a lot of things that you have to do, a lot that go unnoticed, but I notice. Thanks.
Well, because I complain to you all the time, Rolf. That's why. You're always there for me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Rolf. So before I welcome our final speaker, I would like to remind you all to please go to Menti and put the code there, because right after his speech, I'm going to start asking the questions and the instructions for the giveaway. So now let's welcome Rob for the final speech.
Thank you, Angie. And guys, unfortunately, it is a little bit of a speech. I did write a bunch. So I started writing this morning, the main thoughts of what I wanted to talk about. And I just couldn't stop writing. So there's a little bit to talk about that I'll run you through. But first of all, I'm Rob, joining you from Puerto Rico. And I'm really happy to be here. This is absolutely, I would say, a heartwarming moment to be here with the team, with the community on our 3rd year anniversary. I mean, this is just kind of crazy that we've come this far as a project. The things that I want to talk about, so Zencash, which is now Horizen, has really come a long way since 2017. And we are an inspirational project, and we're inspirational for a lot of reasons, other than probably the most important thing is, what you just heard here from Rolf's comments to, that Rosario talking about the diversity of the team that we have here across the world. The vision of what we've been trying to do is actually coming to reality, which is kind of amazing and shocking all at the same time. Not just from the technology perspective, which is imminent, but also from just the community building perspective. And really, that's what this is all about, is building a community across the world that brings people together. And I'll go into that mission. Our mission is really at the core of what we're doing. But let's keep in mind that we bootstrapped this from nothing back in 2017. I still remember Rolf coming to visit me where I was teaching a class on blockchain at the University of South Carolina. And he was my guest speaker for the class. And in classic style, we had a pen and paper out over some beers, just brainstorming. And that brainstorming launched, I think, what is one of the most interesting, remarkable projects in the industry right now. So we did not have any VC backing, and therefore we didn't have a lot of the hype that might be part of other new projects. In fact, we didn't have any backing other than ourselves and just the hard work and sweat equity that we're willing to put into this and our own resources. It came with a lot of classic Rolf whiteboarding sessions, which still to this day people talk about in the community, which is amazing to see. And I highly recommend that people go back and look at those. The tight T-shirt with all of the CrossFit workouts, I think, was really the catch for a lot of people. But Rolf, those days were pretty amazing. And the whole point of it back then was we wanted to build a fair ecosystem where just the idea of equality in many ways was at the heart of what we're doing. So just in blockchain speak, what that means is we had no pre-mine, no special allocation for founders or anything like that. All we had was a treasury allocation, and this went to what we were trying to do was to try to get some better economics. And the treasury allocation was meant to go towards building an ecosystem and funding a team to do that. So bootstrapping from nothing and funding a team to start building an ecosystem, from the technology to the marketing to the BD and everything in between. So we would not exist today without just this years of sacrifice and hard work from extremely passionate people. And just to name a few of people with us from 2017, the very start. Obviously, Rolf, you just heard from him, but there are other people that are absolutely critical to what we're doing. Chronic in particular, I want to give a shout out to. He's probably not worked under a 200 or 300 hour month since May of 2017. And we would not exist today if it weren't for him, picking up the pieces of a pretty chaotic launch back then. Gustavo with us from the very start, and always one of the most passionate people on our team and in our community. Rosario, from being behind the scenes back then to actually taking this on as her passion and life's work since then. Alan, DevMan, without you, we would not have a node system today. And that's such a huge part of our ecosystem and the community that we're built, and node operators. Madar, really the unsung hero behind the scenes, constantly working his butt off, constantly always there for us as a project, and not even thinking about slacking off, or not even thinking about giving an inch in the hard work that's needed to make this project successful. And then today we have many more heroes on this project that have joined since then. And we've come just a ridiculous way to being one of the most professional teams in the market. And the constant communications that you hear from us as a team, as a project, I think should give you a bit of an indication of that. And like Alberto went into, there are multiple actually major projects that are part of the even more major project that we're calling side chains or Zendu. It actually is a beast of a project that we've been working on for 2 years now. And when you see that delivered to market, you're going to see a whole new host of key realistically heroes of this project that have been just working ridiculously long hours and putting not just grunt labor into this, but also that their thoughts, their minds, everything that their creative energy into making this a reality. So back in the day, our initial story was that we were dashifying Zcash. So why did we choose this storyline? Did it make sense at the time, and does it make sense for us now? Well, the idea back then was we wanted to marry better economics with better privacy. So two important things that we considered sort of deficiencies in the industry that we needed to correct. Dash was the first to successful and pioneer a treasury, which goes to the heart of sustainable economics with a voting system. Zcash brought zero knowledge cryptography to blockchain at scale, not just in R&D fashion, but actually on a production main chain. And this was a great story, an excellent starting point for us. But the reality is we've grown significantly since then. So we've improved on those economics. We've built the largest node network in the industry, over 40,000 full nodes. And the idea here of what we were doing was sustainability to us meant something very specific. It's not just this buzzword that we want to magically happen. It's looking methodically and deeply at the idea that marginal contributions need to be rewarded on the margin. So to set that equation, the economics equation of MC equal to MR and that's where we need to be for sustainability. And what that meant in practice was we carved out different resource pools for different types of stakeholders, and it's just a start. We need to think of constantly getting better and better and getting to the heart of everyone that contributes to this ecosystem, everyone who contributes to this project has to be rewarded in some way. And obviously that doesn't always have to be economics. That could be in many other ways. Sorry, we have a bit of a baby issue ongoing right now. Zen Baby, who's going to make a cameo appearance. So from there, we started focusing on our organizational culture, how we work, how we communicate with each other on the team and with the community. We've opened our workflows on Discord. This is not something that's very common, but we made a commitment years ago to the idea of radical transparency, and we meant it. We've migrated most of our code now to public repositories. It's still, it needs to be consolidated with this upcoming beta preview release. But we have a commitment going forward to all work on the sidechains will be done in public. So you're going to see now a huge amount of work on the engineering side being done in open public environments because we want to get more community contribution and participation. We do weekly insiders, of which you're on one right now. We do quarterly live streams, which are sort of like our board reports to you, the community, our bosses at the end of the day. There's a lot going on when it comes to organization and transparency and how we do business. And then speaking of doing business, one of our key people now, Alberto, made the craziest decision of his life and left actually a great job to join this madness with us. And since then, we've had nothing but a stream of great technology innovations, starting with modifying Nakamoto consensus to make us more hardened against 51% attacks, ultimately making it more costly to conduct such an attack and riskier for you on an economic basis to try it. And then we started having some real fun. So then it started with this race to build a ridiculously high quality team, which is what you see now. On the engineering side, this has meant 18 months of very methodical hiring, where we've brought on literally the top 1% of all applicants after you bring them through rigorous testing and interviews. I've participated in some of these interviews, and I would tell you, I would be scared myself to interview with us. But what it's done at the end of the day is to have really the best of the best on the team here. And we are the quiet professionals in the industry that aren't getting out there and getting a lot of hype, but we're just building. And we don't care about the hype because we're going to deliver value that's going to speak for itself. So after building the team, or in process of building the team, the real innovation started. It started with a trickle, and because we're building things from scratch, and we're literally about to open the floodgates of innovation here. Starting with decentralized sidechain, Zendu, the protocol. If you're new to the project now, you should certainly check it out because it is the biggest deal of technological innovation this industry has seen in years. Initially, the idea was of leveraging our massive network of node operators to act as decentralized certifiers, but very quickly it turned into something even better. Actually, much more sophisticated on the technology side, on the cryptography side, using recursive snarks for security, but also more meaningful. And ultimately, at the end of the day, a utility sense, because rather than relying on human beings, we conform to the very basic primitives of what it means to be a blockchain, which means you have to be actually decentralized, and to the extent you can, not rely on human beings to do the right thing, but which is important in setting economic incentives and constraints so that people do the right thing. But there are bad actors out there, and the upgraded Zendu protocol that we're delivering with beta preview is a technology designed to obviate the need for trusted majority, which is really important. Part of this delivery, and Alberto talked about it briefly, is 3 accompanying cryptographic libraries that we built. GingerLib, which I will make a prediction and say will become one of the staple libraries in the whole zero knowledge component of this industry over time, and not much time. We have 2 other libraries. We have Zendu main chain lib, we have Zendu sidechain lib, and together these are major engineering achievements that are going live with a product that is going to have real world value. The sidechain SDK and what we know about good economics will open the floodgates of blockchain innovation in the app domain. So in this sense, developers, ought to actually be paid for work that they do. This is a novel concept in open source, but it's something that we're very serious about because we want to create a sustainable ecosystem. And contribution on the margin has to be rewarded. And who contributes more than people that actually bring ideas from just their head to market with actual products and things that make people's lives better in measurable ways. Innovation should be unconstrained or less constrained with the not having to deal with, say, legacy interests on the main chain. So you don't have to get approval from us, the core team, right now to do some sort of innovation. As long as you deploy a sidechain using our SDK, you can do anything you want on that sidechain. And in this sense, it opens the floodgates of innovation, which is extremely important for us. And then we have companies like Horizen Labs that are very deliberately catalyzing commercial adoption of our technology. And speaking of Horizen Labs, I do have a little bit of an announcement for you. So Horizen Labs, everyone who's been following this project knows, has been a commercial offshoot that was funded by some venture capital to bring in external resources to bolster the engineering capabilities in the ecosystem. Well, now we have a new companion organization called Pipeline Marketing. And Jonathan is going to be the new leader of Pipeline Marketing because it's a carve out of the work that the growth team on the foundation has been doing for some time now. And it is such good work that it has gotten the attention of some key people who wanted to fund it as a distinct entity. So Pipeline Marketing is the newest DCG-backed company, funded by both DCG and Horizen Labs. And its mission is to grow the ecosystem, and not just grow it in size, but also engagement. It's to make useful things for the community, things like our community hub, integrating games into the community hub and Zen into games, introducing Zen into a wave of new users from other ecosystems outside of crypto even, and ultimately building marketing technologies using our sidechain system, things like loyalty programs, things like game chains, integrating games across ecosystems of games, and ultimately building a massive and hyper-engaged community that brings real value here. And this is another component of how everything that we do is integrated and related with each other. So something like Pipeline Marketing, building an ecosystem, ultimately provides more value for app developers that want to build apps into the ecosystem because they have a bigger market now that they can actually deliver their technologies into. So everything's related, everything's important here. And the ecosystem, the team, and the fact that we have such a large cross-section across the world participating in this project is meaningful and will become more evident as every day passes. So the big thing here, and not to go on too long, but where do we stand today and where are we going tomorrow? So it has been a long road. Our big competitive advantage versus some of the new and hyped projects out there is that we've spent years building a loyal community from the ground up. So we will always be a grassroots project at heart. That's just who we are. It's, I think it's evident in those who join us for these weekly calls, those who join us for the quarterly live streams, those who just join us on a daily basis on any of our communication channels from Discord to Telegram, know that we're all about the community. We're all about grassroots, and this permeates everything that we do. So let's go back to our mission. Our mission is to empower people and bring the world together by building a fair and inclusive ecosystem where everyone is rewarded for their contributions. So ultimately, we want to give voice to the unheard masses and opportunity to those stuck without any. Now, these are very powerful words and very lofty goals. So we are under no illusion that we're going to have a transformational impact on the world tomorrow. But maybe the day after tomorrow we will, and we'll start doing it by carving out little chunks of value that we deliver to people around the world in meaningful ways, starting at the micro level. So we have macro goals, but we have micro ideas to achieve these goals. So it's not just idealism. We're obviously a very idealistic group of people, and this is what has brought very passionate people together to the point where we've worked for years without reward. I mean, getting paid through the treasury, but through a treasury that has gone through years of a bear market. It has not been easy. We've gone through, I don't even know how many, team cuts, labor hour cuts, rate cuts, you name it, anything that we can do just to survive. We're like the scrappy, the scrappy fighter that just refuses to give up, because we're not. We don't know what quitting even means as a project. And you've got people on this call right now, on our team right now, who are truly just volunteers because we can't afford to pay them. Now, what does that say? What company do you see out there that has people that after you go through a furlough, or layoffs, just decide that they wanted to stick with the project, stick with the company because they love and believe in what they're doing. It is not normal, it is rare, and it is something that shows the power of what we're doing here. But again, it's not just idealism. So we're not just, debating. What I'm trying to say is we're actually delivering innovative technology to the market. And with, I'm not sure how evident it is by the updates that Luca and Alberto and Rosario gave you today, but we're literally within a week of coding being complete for the Zendoo or sidechain beta preview. This is huge, guys. This is transformational. This is blowing that technology frontier out of the water and bringing something to market that hasn't been brought to market for years or ever in this particular dimension, but in terms of the magnitude of it. Luca was quizzing Alberto on the lines of code. Alberto was just being humble, but the reality is we have over 100,000 lines of code, original code going to market here. And this is something that is orders or multiples larger than other projects that are fresh and go to market. But this is just one project within Horizen going to market, obviously inclusive of multiple other large sub projects, but it's enormous. The amount of original work and code going to market is huge, and it's tackling one of the biggest problems with the industry right now is on scalability into the real world. So we're not just debating things like block size parameters and either them being static or dynamic, what the parameter should be. Those are arguments for maybe 2014. This spawned huge projects, actually, projects that have massive market value by doing things that are as simple as changing parameters on existing code, or changing the type of variable to make it dynamic versus static. Well, Zendoo challenges ideas that are huge today in the market, things like homogeneous versus heterogeneous sharding from projects like Polkadot and Ethereum, from the inter-blockchain communications protocol IBC of Cosmos, or state channels and layer 2, 3, or whatever, of scaling solutions for other projects out there. This blows the technology frontier out of the water, and it adds a huge dimension to these very important discussions that are going on in the industry, and should have a lot of meaning for people that are paying attention. Now, the bottom line is we want people to pay attention to us, but why aren't we part of this cool kid crowd yet in the industry? Why do people still talk about changing parameter sizes as if that's meaningful contribution? And why do those types of projects sell billions of dollars in market cap versus us that, quite frankly, we've been struggling as a project from a resource perspective for years now because we've been humble about what we're doing. Like I said, the quiet professionals in the industry, we haven't received VC funding at the core blockchain level like other projects. And maybe that's contributed to us not being one of the hottest projects. We launched in 2017 amidst the hype of what was going on, and we got a little bit of attention back then, but then the industry seemed to move on with things that were important. So we hunkered down and we just started building. Well, at the end of the day, we don't care. So it's from all objective measures of quality of projects, things like fundamentals, FCAS score, team quality, transparency, quality of deliverables, from marketing communications to sophisticated cryptographic libraries, to over 100,000 lines of original code in Zendoo, to hundreds of thousands of community members who have joined our ecosystem, around a core group of diehard evangelists. From any of these objective measures, we are one of the top projects in the industry. And right now, we are going to be focusing on very specific criteria. I've mentioned this on a couple live streams ago about our leading KPI right now as a project is going to be, quite simply, the amount that people are willing to pay to use our system. And this is just summing the transaction fees across our network. This means that we are going to have an obsession with real world value and delivering technologies and tools for community developers and businesses to actually use our technology, from integrating Zen everywhere, to using our SDK to building apps, so the competent developer teams who are interested in blockchain could actually deliver tools to the market and start doing business on our blockchain. We're launching the HDE concurrently with sidechain beta. This is really important to get developers in, and doing dozens of hackathons. So at the end of the day, it's all about real world usage for us. So then comes the really, really fun stuff. And this is, as soon as we deliver the sidechain beta, then the real fun starts. And this is, what are we going to start doing with the beta? So not just us, with the point of going with Zendoo and going with sidechains as our big technology innovation was so that we can get other developers to start coming in and building things, so that we're not the one-stop shop for building everything in the ecosystem. This includes doing things like building a Treasury DAO, a voting system, so that we can actually decentralize our governance, decentralize the resources in our ecosystem. And ultimately, my dream is I want to see price stable assets. I want to see DeFi applications because, going back to our mission, what we want to do is there's a vision of creating a peer-to-peer economy. Well, in a peer-to-peer economy, you have to have a peer-to-peer financial system. And a financial system is more than just transmitting value back and forth. It's doing things like financial intermediation. It is building lending products. It's building price stable assets so that we can mimic the values of other financial assets, other capital market products within our ecosystem, so that people don't have to leave our ecosystem, and we could deliver these products at the micro scale to frontier markets. Now, this is meaningful, and when we can actually start doing this, and now we're delivering the technology to start making these ideas possible, again, not easy, and we still have to architect these types of solutions, but now they start becoming possible. And then we could even start doing things like reimagining the entire project, reimagining the entire idea of a blockchain, going to ideas of like raw efficiency, collapsing database structure, and really thinking about true scalability. So guys, I'm gonna stop here. I know this was a really big talk about where we came from the very beginning to where we are today and where we're going tomorrow. But there's a lot to the project, and honestly, this is the most fun I've ever had in my life. I'm truly humbled to be here. I'm really humbled to work with the absolutely ridiculous team that we have right now, and humbled to work with the amazing community that's come to this project. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, Rob. I think those were amazing words and that we all agree with you. So now let's move on to the giveaway part. And I want you all to go to Menti and enter the code that we have provided on the YouTube channel and the other channels, because now we're going to be the ones asking you questions this time. So I hope you all are ready and you're already on Menti. Okay, so sorry, I just can't stand the excitement. Okay, so make sure to answer and as well provide your username or email or whatever way we can possibly know who are you, so you can win your cool wallets, okay? So there it goes. The first question and the first one to win a cool wallet is, okay, so this is very easy. Where is Horizen's engineering team based? City and country. So there you go. Start typing right away. I'm going to repeat it again. So where is Horizen's engineering team based? You have to mention the city and the country, and as well your username. Okay, so let's give it just a couple of seconds. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, I think, well, answers are coming through very, very quickly. So if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Vitosoft, the one who answered first. So congratulations. Okay, so next question is, Horizen has recently contributed to the privacy technology realm and of course with the zero knowledge proof and based system by creating a new zk-SNARK library. What is the name of this new library called? Make sure to provide your answer as well as your username. So I'm going to repeat it again. So what's the name of the new library based on the zk-SNARK protocols and zero knowledge proof based library?
So Angie, I got a question for you while you're waiting on answers for that and looking at the first one. There are some good questions on Menti that have a lot of upvotes. Should we go through and answer some of those also? I mean, we got time. We're all together.
Of course.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to interrupt you too much. Go ahead and look at the next one, and then let me know when I can jump in and answer. I'll just read the question and answer it, and then ask Rob to correct me.
Of course. So, okay. So, yeah. So, Okay, so I'm going to go with the final question, and then we can move on to the top two questions voted from the community. So the last question to win the Cool Wallet S is going to be, what do you like most about Horizen? On a very simple and clear way, just let us know what do you like most about us. And then the team is going to vote on the best answer, and that person is going to be the winner. Okay, so while we wait for the answers, please feel free to join and answer. I'm seeing here one question from the community. It says, is there going to be a smart contract virtual machine for sidechains? Can I port my Ethereum dApps into a Horizen sidechain?
Let me just say, Alberto, see, I told you so. This question was coming, and it wasn't me.
Well, but it also points out how what we're doing has a lot of capabilities, and sidechains are going to have a lot of capabilities because they're based on proof of stake, forging, similar to the types of things that are being done in Ethereum, on Cardano, on EOS, and other multi-purpose blockchains like that. So, and then we have the advantages of having a whole bunch of people that are running nodes already that they'll be able to sign in and be able to run those different distributed applications. So, and this is where I'm going to do the very first hit at it. First off, when we release beta, we'll have the ability to create these types of sidechains. And when we say sidechain, just think of a standalone blockchain where you don't have to get listed on an exchange because Zen's already taken care of that for you. It's more complicated than that. But a standalone blockchain with an interface application where you can do all sorts of different things. Can blockchains have smart contracts on them? Absolutely, they can. So the first type of thing that we're going to do is have the ability for people to start developing these sidechain applications on the test net right away. So with parallel development, you can start developing these apps. So is there the possibility of porting Ethereum dApps onto a sidechain? Yes, there is. Is that going to be right away? It depends on how good of a developer you are. So anyway, I'll hand that off to back to Angie and then Rob or whoever else. But
please, Alberto, yeah, because I've been trying to get this out of Alberto as well. So.
Okay, so for sure, let me say the sidechain system has been designed to make the main chain totally agnostic of what is happening on the sidechain side, and I would add even one more thing. It could be even not a blockchain on the other side. So the application itself could be even something different. You can see it, let me say, our sidechain system as a pool, as a zero-knowledge pool, where you send funds and the developer can create a specific circuit that is able, let me say, to use these funds and to distribute them with a specific logic that could be even not a blockchain itself. So I think that really we have not yet seen all the possibilities that are there. So yeah, for sure, it's possible to construct from scratch a blockchain that is using a VM for running smart contracts. But for example, it can also be possible to have, if you want, I mean, a consortium of banks can use a private blockchain. And this is totally possible. It can be even, as I told before, just even not a blockchain. I mean, some application that whose rules are described in a circuit. And this is totally fine with our system. So the main chain will be capable of managing all these use cases because it's totally agnostic, let me say, what is happening on this NARC pool. And for example, our SDK is using, let me say, our consensus protocol that is an enhanced Ouroboros protocol to manage also the main chain. I mean, so because it's a two-chain consensus. But I mean, it's not mandatory that a developer use our SDK. It can even write everything from scratch. It can use another consensus. So we believe that we are giving the, let me say, a very wide set of possibilities to the developer that he can use to really write the application that in the way that fits that specific use case. So, and this, I think, that was the original goal, and I believe that we're approaching it. Sorry. Thanks, Angie.
Thank you. Okay, second question is, when sidechains and HDE will be released?
So I'm going to jump on that to just amplify the previous answer. So sidechains and Horizen developer environment. So this is kind of what Rosario talked about earlier, where we're working to get a bunch of developers to start contributing different types of application and work. So by creating in this 2-year process, this big change to the Horizen main chain to support sidechains, transferring value of Zen to a sidechain and receiving it back using recursive ZK snarks and not requiring trusted things out there, is different from any other sidechain out there. That is the new and unique thing. Anybody that says that they're doing a sidechain right now, either the sidechain is a copy of the main chain, or it is a way where they lock funds into a multi-sig address and then have to have a group of trusted verifiers bring them back to the main chain. So what we're doing is something completely new and different. And by encouraging developers, yes, we can do just about anything on the sidechain because the main chain is agnostic as to what happens on the sidechain, as long as it meets the requirements of transferring value to and from the sidechain. But first off, to get all these developers, we have to have a starting point, a software development kit, an example of how to use it, which Alberto just mentioned, the Ouroboros Proust, which is a way of doing proof of stake with forgers, as well as smart contract language. And to, I lost my train of thought on that. No, help me out here, Rob.
He's very eloquent, Rolf.
Oh, Horizen developer environment. So documentation on how to do this and an example of how to do it, and then ongoing support and a community of different things, and then maybe little projects to do. Yeah, I'm always big on start with little example projects, and if we're going to have people doing various hacking, well, maybe we do rock, paper, scissors as an example of a sidechain game. Yes, that's silly, but actually it takes a lot of work to develop a basic game like that. And going through that work process, you hit different knowledge holes on documentation or libraries or things like that, which then allow you to build much more powerful applications. So Horizen developer environment is a way for us to contribute to this. So when is always the question. And it's all happening right now. And that's the big announcements and the big releases that you're seeing here over the next weeks and months. Thanks.
Okay, great. Next question is for Rowan. And it says that, does Rowan go to the tanning salon?
I think that's pretty obvious, to be fair.
Do you even go outside, Rowan? I mean, you live near the equator.
Here, that's actually that's an interesting point. So just to give a little bit of perspective of my glowing complexion, here in Panama, we've been on total lockdown for just a little bit over 2 months. So I've not left the house properly in about 70 days, which means more time to work on Horizen, but a lot less time to work on my suntan.
To be fair, everyone, I'm in the UK and, well, look at my glowing complexion.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to announce the winner of the second question. And congratulations to Thredo, that we all love and know. Congratulations, Thredo. You are the winner of the second question. So yeah, still there's the winner pending for the third question, which was, what do you like most about Horizen? So go to Menti, answer what do you like the most, and everyone can vote on the favorite answer. So I think I'm gonna just wrap up with the last question from the community, but please remember that all of the questions are gonna be answered here in YouTube, as well as in our Discord chat channel for you to check out later, so no worries about that. So the last question would be, what are the milestones for the next 6 months?
Well, that's a great question. So the biggest milestone is beta preview, and then going from beta preview to Zendu beta. Horizen developer environment, getting that live, building the community hub on the growth side. Launching pipeline marketing was a really big deal in that sense, and that's a huge milestone. And getting funding for pipeline marketing was a huge milestone for us. And then from there, it's going to be a race, guys, to get Zendu to mainnet. So that's going to be a huge deal for us. And then, on the BD side, we have a whole bunch of things in the BD pipeline that I think will make for some really good news throughout the rest of the year. And then we need to really, as we're closing the loop on the big 2020 roadmap, which was really ambitious, but shockingly, we're accomplishing, I think, all of it, or at least most of it. We need to revisit, how we're actually stand against it. But then we need to rethink what are we going to do in 2021, and especially what are we going to do with the big technology that we deliver. So there's a lot in the pipeline for us, on the horizon for us. I always try to avoid saying there's a lot on the horizon, because there is a lot on the horizon. Anyway, that's
an unlimited horizon.
Yeah, thank you. And guys, anything else that I forgot or left out? I know if we went to, say, Rosario's task priority list and saw the 1,000 tasks in there, we could probably cluster them to some other interesting deliverables.
It's amazing how much productivity happens when you have a project manager directing things, or following up on things, or tracking things. That was one of the turning points in my business when I owned one, getting a project manager. So it's a lot of work, and it's really important.
Totally agree. Rosario, we're going to say something on that?
Now that you captured the major deliverables, so that's going to be our sidechain beta release and HDE. But first, we have to meet preview, which is coming very soon, and that's going to kick off a whole lots of other activities that's extremely exciting from a project perspective.
Yeah, and from maybe just a couple of specific projects that are going to be delivered related to sidechain. For example, the Explorer. I mean, we will need to deploy an Explorer that is capable to provide sidechain information and lets you interact and send funds and create sidechains without having a full node. And this is something that is going to be delivered during the next months. And moreover, we are also the Sphere wallet will be able to interact with sidechains. So initially, we'll let you, as we were saying before, sending funds, creating sidechains, and see your balance that is, let me say, aligned with what you received from sidechains and so on. But after, we will modify the Sphere wallet to make it, let me say, as a toolkit for developers that are developing sidechains, also to have a wallet for the sidechain. So if you have car registry sidechain, just to make a simple example, you will have a wallet that should be able to let a user to interact with the sidechain in an easy way. So we are planning to modify the wallet in a way that is easily extendable, and so the developer will be will let me say, have a life easier for adding the functionality that are specific to that specific sidechain. And this is just an example. And there are many other let me say parts that are going to be let me say, released with the sidechain release, and many other projects. And also, as Rob said, I mean, also these months are going to the focus will be on porting on mainnet the sidechain changes on the mainchain side. So this means obviously, as you can imagine, very detailed code audit. So we will have a process for evaluating what has been done, okay, from a third party. A third entity will evaluate it and will assess the security of it. So, and this is a crucial phase. So we want to go in production on mainnet with something that we're sure have no, I mean, we made all the checks and the possible verification that is safe, secure, and is working properly. So this is the, I mean, some elements that are on our path in the remaining part of the year. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're about to be finished. I think the answer that the community said that what they liked most about Horizen, we have several answers, but I'll announce the winner. So the winner says the community and the team. So thank you and congratulations to lavoyet@gmail.com. And I'm going to go really, really quickly through some of the other answers that the community liked most about Horizen. So many compliments to the girls that we are smart and cool, and so that's awesome. Some of the people are saying that Horizen is one of the first cryptocurrencies that they have experienced into the whole blockchain world, which is amazing as well. Yeah, so happy birthday wishes. That we are into this whole crypto sphere, and it's gonna be, we're gonna grow even more, and we are an example for other projects as well. So thank you all for the awesome answers there. We have a lot of participation in here. So yes, we now come to the final part. This is the most exciting one. I'm gonna just go and see where Metter is. So Metter, I hope you're ready, because we're just about to make like the coolest part of the whole live stream.
Yes, we are ready.
Awesome. Okay, so I want you all to just say with me on the count of 3. Are you guys ready? So there it goes. 1, 2, 3.
Happy anniversary, Horizen!
Yeah.
Anniversary!
Want some cake?
So
Wow, that's amazing cake. Look at that.
yeah,
Okay, blow out the candles.
And Madar's kids, amazing.
Ja, nej, det
Awesome.
Nej, det är vidare.
Thank you guys. Wow, look at that.
It's amazing, amazing. Well, thank you everyone for being here with us today. I hope to see you all in our next Weekly Insider next Thursday on our Discord voice channel. And any questions or comments, please let us know. See you all soon. Bye.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Thank you for
everybody.
coming.
Bye.
Oh, it's Zombie. Look at that.
I hope some of that cake's going to make its way to Panama.